All right, back to the Buick. Haven't had this thing on the channel a little bit, but season's winding down in Bandimere, so we're gonna do one more trip back to the track, and we got a few upgrades. First thing here, new tires, new front and rear tires. To be honest, let's start with the rears. What did I get here? Of course, it just rained. Westlake Radial RP18, whatever those are. They were just a cheap tire I got for the rears, but they are a 205 55/16 wear stock. This would have been a 225 or 55 or 60, but basically it's about a good inch or so smaller. Not so much the reason I did the rears, more so for the fronts. We got new Hoosier. They're basically just drag radials. I think they're DR2 is like the sub model. But yeah, these are 225 50/16s. And the reason I went with these, a couple reasons. One, I'm still using the stock wheels, trying to hang on to that whole sleeper look as long as I can. But these are, what are they? 16-inch wheel that's only like 6.5, I think. They're pretty narrow wheel. So I had a 255 50/16, and that thing was, ooh, that was really wide and also a little big. So this is a little better fit for the wheel. Still has a little bit of kind of bow in and bow out, depending how you look at it, but definitely fits better. But more importantly, it's an inch smaller. I think this is like 25-ish inches in diameter, somewhere around there. Should be better for the horrible gearing that this thing currently has. That 4T65 transmission has got pretty bad gears in it. So we'll get these mounted up, and a couple other minor things here. Try to a little bit of lightning, and then take the Buick to the track one final time, and see if we can run, maybe especially fall here, maybe we can run consistent 13s, and that'll be kind of the end of the supercharged experiment with this thing, and then start doing the turbo kit. I think one good thing is these tires should carry the car even with the turbo for a while, and so theoretically if it really starts making some big power, you might need a whole new wheel and tire setup, but we'll be able to get a little more life out of these. This isn't a short-term thing because they're not cheap. So anyway, let's get these things mounted and go from there. Okay, the wheels are on with the new tires, and I also, since the car's jacked up, decided to take the resonator off. It's probably not a permanent thing. I don't know. It really depends on what I'm going to do with the turbo kit, how I'm going to have that exit. I can use the factory, well, it's not factory anymore, but the factory routing, the ZZP downpipe, and I could probably put this back on because it is a little obnoxious without it. But since we're going to do one last test run here, we're going to try to save all the weight we can. It's not a ton, 20, I don't even know what it is, pounds, but it's off. So yeah, we'll see. There's a couple little tiny things in the interior we can do as well, weight wise, but this thing's pretty close to doing one last run at the racetrack. So let's actually, I'm kind of curious. I'm going to drop it down and see what it looks like with these slightly smaller tires on these wheels. It might not look as good, but it should function better, especially with the gearing change, because this thing's way too long. This thing's designed to do 1,000,000 miles an hour, and not ideal for drag racing. So drop it down, let's see what it looks like. Okay, so got the Buick back on the ground here, and you know, oh, the wind picked up and the trees just puked all their pine needles that time of year, but it doesn't look too bad. Definitely the slightly bigger tire fills up the wheel well a little bit more, theoretically makes it look lower than maybe these smaller ones, even though these actually make it lower to the ground. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. But more importantly, the wheels and tires, well, I should say the tires now are even front to back, but that's not really the big thing. It's just that we dropped about an inch or so in diameter, and that really should help with well, who knows how much. It should help a little bit with the ratio with the transaxle in front, make it a little bit better for acceleration. So we'll find out. But I guess one thing I can do is fire this thing up, because yeah, now it's a little obnoxious. It was always loud, but without the resonator, oh hey, it's me. Without the resonator, it is a little more ridiculous. So here goes, yeah, the noise. It's already warmed up. Yeah, she's got a bark, but I don't know. Wear some earplugs. It's probably the final time this thing's ever really going to be driven around too much, because once I go to turbo setup, then I'm really going to start stressing the transmission and probably become a trailer car. Even though it's still very much, it can be driven on the street. If you're taking drag passes, you're always at risk of breaking it. So, but anyway. Yeah, it's not quiet. So, anyway, that's the, I won't call it a sound improvement, we'll call it the sound change, slightly lightening. But those are the new seats. I may try to swap this seat out today, see how simple it is. It'd be nice to save a few pounds there. One thing I'm going to mess with next here is the steering wheel. It is purely a beauty cosmetic thing. It really isn't a weight savings per se, but I do have a few different parts here, trying to see if I can, with the Grant steering wheel and the little kits, come up with something that'll make it work, because it's not really directly for this car. So let's find out. The Buick has a new steering wheel. I didn't really film any of the actual on and off, because I was kind of messing around to see what would actually work with this car, and kind of came up with a bit of a hybrid. But this is the end result. I think it looks pretty good. So I'll get the bird's eye view. Well, not bird's eye, but the driving view. Race car, right? Buick race car. But I think it looks good. I was playing around with one tooth here, the left or right, to make sure I got it straight, and I think neither way was just a hair off, which probably always been like that. So I think I got it pretty good and cranked it down. Not sure exactly if I did the right method, but it's nice and secure and seems to be okay. Kind of used a hybrid kit, like I said. This billet adapter I didn't really use too much, so for this kit here, it's not exactly how it looks, but 5196 is what I needed for the for the actual adapter point for the splines of the steering shaft to transition to the 3 holes, which you in turn used for the Grant kit. That's what I used. You could probably just buy that silver piece, but whatever comes in the 5196 fits the 2001 2001 Buick steering column, which means it fits probably all those late 90s, early 2000 cars. Side note, tried using a traditional puller to get the wheel off. Didn't work, so I kind of just messed around with the one of these pullers, the 3-arm pullers, and actually popped the old steering wheel off with, side note, very light. So really this is not a weight savings thing. This is pure cosmetic. But anyway, just use the adapter on this. Didn't use anything else. This is the kind of adapter cover. It's a little big. And actually, you'd have to chew around you have to grind away this plastic, to be honest, to use that one. I just so happen to have another one that God knows where it's from, some other old Grant wheel. So I used that. And then the billet 3-to-5 piece, 3-lug that mounts to the adapter, and then 5-lug to the steering wheel. I didn't even use that. I just used the one that came with the steering wheel. It was a little bit lighter and a little smaller. So that's what the second one is. The rest of the stuff all came with the steering wheel. There was definitely some weird airbag stuff that I had to take off as well, but I don't know. It looks good. I was definitely cranking the bolt down against a plastic piece, so I'm going to have to monitor that and see if that loosens up or not. It's definitely very tight on there now, but I was worried if I gave it too many ugga-duggas, it might be breaking the thing. So anyway, this is not exactly a lightning item, but it looks cool, and it gets rid of that ugly, or despite it being light, ugly stock steering wheel. So I don't know if we're gonna get anything else done. I don't know if I messed with the seat or not, but we'll see. But we're getting sun's gonna be down a bit today and going to the track tomorrow, so or probably tomorrow if the weather's good. But anyway, steering wheel done. I think it looks pretty cool. So I don't think I'm going to put the seats in at this point now, kind of last minute. I did get these, I don't know if I showed them before, but I did get these Summit plastic seats. Got 2 of them. Got them red. Thought it'd be a cool contrast with the white car. They have spots for bolts that go through on the 6 bolts in the bottom. I did get these, this Summit bracket kit that comes with the basic hardware you need to at least mount the seat to these brackets. They're just basic L brackets that you can in turn make a kind of a C style bracket configuration, or you can even do it an L style depending on how the seat goes. And I'm not quite sure, but let me bring over the car and show why we're gonna wait on this one. Go over on the passenger side here. It's basically mirrored of the driver's side, but so you have these 2, I guess, welded in or pressed in or whatever they are. No, they're spot welded in. They better be. Mounting points for the stock seats. They're a little too long for these brackets, and oh my, I think I already said, but the driver's side, passenger side just mirrors each other. So if I had something here, the passengers or the back's too far. Obviously, I think mounting the front would be better because that seat is, yeah, pretty cushiony. So this is going to be pretty low. Those plastic seats, you want to get them up as high as possible. So what I might do maybe is utilize these 2 bolts from the original mounting of the seats. Same over there, obviously. Maybe some kind of bracket that extends forward a little bit, and then mount these, I don't know, maybe like, I'm just guessing here, something like this. Obviously the holes aren't correct the way I'm holding it, but in general, that idea, maybe something like this. They can get the seats mounted, and then you can play around the angles too as well. But I think that's probably what we'll end up doing, but at this point now I'm not going to rush it just for one last race. So I guess we'll hold off on the seats, but otherwise everything else, didn't really do much lightning here, but you know, tires in particular should be the big one. So we'll see what this thing does here. All right, the Buick is ready. Didn't really do a ton of stuff to it, but I think the updates are pretty good, primarily being tires. So new tires all the way around, specifically the slicks being the big improvement. Smaller diameter, hopefully better with gearing. Otherwise took the resonator off over here for a few pounds. Swapped out the steering wheel. That's mostly cosmetic, but hey, it looks cool. You can see a little red stripe on the top of the wheel. Obviously, stock seat's still there for now, but yeah, I think all of this, cool weather, time of year, I don't know, the goal is I like to just run 13s consistently and wrap up the season with that, and then a little more lightning. But the big thing is obviously turbo kit by the time this car comes out next year. So I think that'll be it for now. Next one will be at the track. So all right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.